Music, 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 news, and your views, and your views. What would life be without an X?
Xlive Africa, and we're talking about Black Panther and how this movie can change our perception of life by ourselves. Malcolm X said, who taught you to hate your skin color? Who taught you to hate your lips? Who taught you to hate your hair? And all of that. I think if you are yet to watch this movie, we did this show just to let you know that you're not just going to watch any movie. You're going to watch this movie to change something in your mind. I've said here on this show that until you take away the white man in your mind, forget about the white man on your land. If you don't take away the white man in your mind, forget the one on your land. You know, I came to this conclusion in the year 2015 when there was a terrorist attack in France, which is a bad thing. Terrorist attack shouldn't happen to any nation, not even your enemy. But it happened. And the next day I saw all Ghanaians who were in a training camp with 10 West African nations, youth from 10 West African nations at Game Park. And what I saw was that everyone has changed their DP, WhatsApp DP, Facebook DPs to that of France colors. And then I concluded that, wow, there's a white man living in every African's mind.
Yep.
Because these same terrorists by the name Boko Haram were bombing Nigeria each and every week. But I didn't see any Ghanaian, even some Nigerian, changing their DPs into the flag of Nigeria. The same terrorist attack, and more, even they were killing more in Nigeria than the one that happened in France. But once it happened once in France, all African youth changed their DPs into the colors of France. And then I realized that the white man is still living in the mind. And I would prefer the white man living on my land than to live in my brain.
You know what? You know what's keeping that flame alive in the minds?
No.
Folk will don't like it. They're gonna say, this guy really has a hatred for this and he keeps jumping on this. Is the church. Because every week folk go get a new dose of the white man's poison, the white Jesus. Week after week is put in their mind. It's just like this. I like it. And remember family listening, I was a pastor. I was guilty of that, even if I did not adhere to the same things they did, but even subversively, I was still guilty because I was still spreading the poison.
But you didn't know.
I didn't know, but ignorance is not an excuse for unrighteousness. You can't justify, I didn't know. You're still going to go to jail until you repent or redeem yourself. You know, I didn't know I'm not supposed to drive 100 miles per hour and I kill somebody. I'm going to still go to jail. But here you go. This is the analogy I use. And this is, they have to have a weapon that's greater than any weapon, but it looks like it's coming in peace. A person, you're familiar with the drug crack. The crack addict knows that is wrong. They know that is no good. But they go give the crack dealer money every week so they can get a high. Because why are you getting high? To escape from your present reality. So you go give this person every week money, and you're going to do what you can to give him money so he can give you that feel good. That's the only thing. What's the difference between that going to church? Because your reality is not changing. You're giving them money so you can feel good, so you're dancing, singing, shouting, speaking in tongues, doing all this stuff, running around, and you come back to the same hell you face with every day, and that's for black people worldwide, because it's not doing a thing to change their reality, but it's injecting in your mind that white ice is colder than black ice, and in fact both of them are ice. And until we deal with that virus that's plaguing our minds, that saturates from one generation to the next, because you have children that are scared to deal with that virus, knowing that that virus is no good. They hate that virus. Most men need to get some backbone and address that with their wives, because their wives are the ones that they are subjecting this hell disease to, or virus to, and say, no, we're going to the path of our ancestors, so we're not doing anything until we re-examine this to see if this warrants our dedication. But until we deal with that, because let's do some analysis here. What is the common denominator that most of us are dedicated to that could be contributing to our demise? Let's look at it. Everybody's not doing drugs. I believe 70-something% of Ghana is Christian. Mm-hmm. And most of blacks in America are. So let's look at it. Are most people doing drugs?
No.
Are most people committing crimes?
No.
Are most people going to church?
Yes.
Is it working?
No.
Boom. You don't have to have a PhD to see this.
I had a friend who said, okay, they said that Jesus never failed, but his answer to that is that because no one has met him.
So we believe in somebody that you never met, that has not saved a soul. If Moses was a Messiah, he at least liberated his people. David liberated his people. Joshua liberated his people. I believe the Israelites were under Roman captivity.
Yeah.
He didn't really liberate nobody. And then what happened in the 1600s when the white man was coming to Cape Coast and Elmina, dragging us from the north and bringing us down to Asin Manso and dragging us down to the slave castles? Where was Jesus then? That's a real question. Where was Jesus on the slave ship? Where was Jesus in the plantations all from on the east coast of America when our people were being lynched, raped, murdered, castrated? Where was he then? We weren't allowed to read. And then where was Jesus during the civil rights movement that they had to have the black, all these people praying in church every week, but it had to be the Black Panthers when he's supposed to heal. If Jesus healed, you wouldn't need the Black Panther Party to come with health care. See, that's the thing that you got to get your mind back to holistically look at everything. You wouldn't need health care if Jesus was a healer, like they claim he is.
But they'll tell you that he does his things in a different dimension, the spiritual realm.
So do you pay your bills in the spiritual realm?
No.
Because tell somebody I'm in the spirit and I need some food. They will put you in a funny farm and lock you up. If you try to say I pay my bill, my spiritual bill, I pay my Vodafone on the MTN bill, I want some credits. They say, okay, I want 40 credits. They pay it. They said, no, I'm paying with spiritual money. So
you have been a minister of the gospel for the past, 10 years?
No, I haven't been in 19 years. I was for over 10 years.
Okay.
Yes.
Over 10 years.
Yes.
Now you are out of it, just like Ren Hagen and many others.
Races. Races. Most of the main denominations in America come out of they call the Bible Belt. So those are the most racist areas in the world. Do you know the Ku Klux Klan is a Christian organization? How can the slave and the slave master pray to the same God? So if both of them are praying, who is God? Who is the God of that religion going to answer? The slave master is saying, help us to rise as a people to protect our white race from these African savages. And then you got the black people praying to the same Jesus saying, help free us from the oppression of the slave master. Who is that God going to answer? Apparently it looked like he's answering the white people because the black people are still in the same predicament. So why in the world are we praying to a God that looks like the person that's oppressing us?
That has been a multi-million-dollar question.
Why? I mean, seriously. That's stuff we gotta address. Because if we're gonna use this Black Panther effect, how does the white Jesus fit into that paradigm? How with all this black pride, that we got this stringy hair, pointed nose, no lip, pink man, that almost looks suspect. How do we use that when we got all these African folk in this movie? We're using this as a platform to catapult us to the next level. You got natural hair in our sisters with close haircuts, Nubian knots. You got locks. You got all these different natural variations of hair. How does that fit into the paradigm when you got this white Jesus with this long stringy hair?
So somebody told me that if the God you believe in doesn't look like you, it can never become powerful.
They're going to enslave you. And that's, look at our situation. Saturday evening is almost a ghost town because everybody's getting ready. They're working real hard so they can go give this preacher money. Then you got these preachers that's out here they're makeshift preachers. They got their little portable speakers with their Bible on top of it so they can graduate to the next level and get more money. They get on the trotro screaming and hollering and demanding you for money because it's about money. Because they know it's not working. You people rise up. You don't have to give these people money because the thing about it is, if I come to you and I say, I have this miracle water. If you drink it, brother, it will clean your car from all the filth or whatever. You're going to say, if you're intelligent, which you are, you're going to say, let me see it. Let me see you work it. I have this stain on my car, rust. Just use this little drop right here and clean it off. And if you show that it can work, then it will warrant me buying this bottle, right? So why are you giving these preachers money when they can't even go to a hospital and heal somebody from a common cold?
A friend of mine is listening from Germany, and he says he's like the way you're speaking about religion right now. That's Nana. Shout out to you, Nana. Okay, so I wanted to ask some question that you being a pastor, going to the system and now out of the system, do you think Africans are going to let go of this religion anytime soon?
Honestly, let's look at you liken this to a paradigm in the scriptures, and I use this purposely for analogies. It was a whole generation that did not make it into the promised land because they did not want to let go of the ways of bondage. They kept referring back to bondage, where it was the next generation that went in. This is why my wife and I are concentrating on the next generation, because some of the folks that's in my age range and older don't want to change. They're not going to change. They think the young generation like you guys are out of your mind. They don't want to hear anything new. They don't want to talk innovation. And many of our elders respect, I believe in respect to the elders, but the elders got to make room for the next generation. They got to utilize you all's energy, your innovation, your boldness, your intuitiveness, and channel it with their wisdom and experience. If they understand that, that's the perfect remedy and solution to rise as a collective. But many of them are in the way. I believe the next generation is asking questions. You all are asking questions, but you got to be bold enough to take the criticism from the old. You guys make up the majority of Ghana. You all can make a difference even in the political realm. That's how Obama got in office, because he utilized where the young people were, social media. That's not used just to take selfies and ladies taking butt shots and guys showing, hey, they're out there maxing at the club. Utilize your mind to put your agenda forth. Hey, you got a politician, you know how at election time they come around and want to get your vote? Say, hey, listen, because I used to do this even when I was a pastor. You're just not going to come and speak to the people in my congregation. We need to hear what your agenda is. And based upon what we hear and what we like and what we're requesting, that would warrant us possibly supporting you. So if you have an agenda, young people, you all can come together as a collective and say, hey, this is what we want to see change. That's the power you have by being the majority. And I'm not saying overthrow anything. I'm talking about use your intelligence and be creative. That's what you need to see from this movie, because think about it. Who was the mind behind Black Panther? His younger sister. She was the whiz. She was the one creating all this innovative technology. And that's what your generation can do. But you got to see it. You got to get rid of the European virus, their religion, the European ideals, all those things that are toxic to your existence, even their foods, because they're bringing their restaurants here. Be open to try new, healthier foods. Like in Ghanaian family, please be open to try more green, leafy vegetables. And not so much starch consumption. Because our ancestors did eat this green. We need that chlorophyll. We need that green in our system. But I'm saying that's the technology you all have, because you all are on the internet. You have more exposure to knowledge and information. So utilize that to catapult this nation to the next level. But you can't be afraid to speak up. One thing that I saw in that movie that you all got to take note of. When Killmonger told him, hey, why did you leave me? when his father was killed, when he saw the ship leave and they didn't take him back to Wakanda. He said, "Why did you leave me?" That's how many of us in America felt. You all were back home having your kingdoms. I know colonialism came, but none of you all came back to try to rescue us, to save us. We were your kidnapped children, brothers and sisters. Why didn't you all come get us? And T'Challa heard that. And the brother said, "Listen," he said, he was wounded. He said, Killmonger was wounded. He said, "Listen, I don't want to die. I'd rather die and be buried in the sea with my ancestors free than to be living in bondage." So he went back to the States and started rebuilding and healing. And I'm saying this to say, this is the part that we got to do. The healing part. We got to bridge the gap and understand our plight. You all have to understand why we come with this aggression and anger. Because this is what we lived in. And maybe distrust. And you all got to pull out the olive branch and say, "Come home. Welcome us home. Say, listen, we need you." If more you all did that, because there is propaganda in America by many black folk that think that you all don't like us. I don't know where that comes from. And many of us don't like ourselves. But they think that, and that's what was planted in our heads. That was shown in that movie, that you all don't like us. You don't care about us. Because when we come here, we get called white man or Baroonies.
But the other side of that name is we've been indoctrinated to believe that Obroni is the best kind of human being that you can ever see.
The same people.
So even if a local person is called Obroni, you feel good.
It should be an insult, because you should be African king, African queen, African prince, African princess. I don't want to be a foreigner. Why do we think something on the outside is better than what's on the inside? Because the same system that put that virus in our minds in America did the same thing here in a different way. What school system or what school indoctrination was most of Ghana under? The British system. It's not Africans. How in the world did we build great civilizations, but we're getting our education from somebody that's less than us? Does that even make logical sense? Even in America, if we know that we're superior, because if the European was superior, why would they need us to come build, us that build great civilizations, why would they come choose us, pick us, rape us, kidnap us to come build America, their world, if they were so superior?
Okay, there's a message coming in from my listener. So he says, if as an African who was born on the continent of Africa and migrated to the US, live and work there, and you own a Bible but not a copy of philosophies and opinions of Marcus Garvey or the autobiography of Malcolm X, you need to be deported. Not just owning them, reading them, and applying its contents. That basically, if you were born in Africa, you were not taken through the slave trade, but you went to the US by your own accord, and you came back only to own a Bible, not the philosophies of Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X. Need to be deported from the land of Africa.
Hey, listen, that is so true, because even in America, even in our struggle, there's so much history that was generated. And I would admonish everybody or challenge everybody, if you've never seen the video series, 4-part series, Hidden Colors, do that.
I've watched up to season 4.
Yes. And one of the things that we want to do through our NGO is show these type of things to young people.
What I want about this movie is to have it translated into local languages. It would really help, especially what do you call it, the Hidden Colors.
Oh yes, it would be amazing, because those are the type of things that we need now to take the impact of Black Panther, the movie, to the next level. Is these things. Is another video series that we have called Up From Slavery. There's so many different things. But they need to see these things. There's a movie called The Deacons of Defense. I didn't even know existed until about 15 years ago. The Deacons of Defense was this Christian organization. They lived in Louisiana, but they weren't your stereotypical Christians that turned the other cheek and loved their enemies. They weren't going to allow the Ku Klux Klan to come into their area and destroy their businesses. So they got shotguns and said, "You gonna get out of our town." because you have the right to defend yourself.
Exactly. We started with the showing of the Black Panther movie and its related issues, and we are now wrapping up with how religion is tying us down from moving forward. So let me come to you. How easy was it for you to, because to be frank, if you don't have the alternative knowledge about Jesus and religion, the Jesus story is so sweet. How did you just let it go as a former pastor?
First things first, you gotta have courage, and you gotta see things as they really are, not as you've been conditioned to believe it or see it, or what you want to believe it. You have to first acknowledge that there's a problem, because I kept saying something's not right here.
So to you as a pastor, what did you see as wrong? What was wrong?
I saw no real power, no people getting healed. Mark chapter 16 and 17. One of the signs, you shall lay hands on the sick and they shall recover. It didn't say you shall lay hands on the sick, those that have faith, those that believe. It says, if I believe, I shall lay hands on the sick and they shall recover. That wasn't happening.
Maybe because we see them on TV, televangelists healing people. What was his name? The famous one in the U.S. What's his name?
Peter Popoff and all these charlatan warlocks.
Okay, I got a missed call from someone. You can call back again. You can. Nana.
Let's have real talk here, and not be afraid to deal with it, because that's the deal. You can't be afraid to deal with the reality. If it's not working, then we have to ask questions, because seek and you shall find.
Okay, we have Nana on the line, the way from Germany. Good morning, Nana.
Yeah, good morning, DJ Fuad.
How are you doing? Uh-oh, somebody else is calling with a local line. Okay. Hello. Uh-oh. Hello, Nana. Hello.
Good morning, DJ Fuad. Good morning to all your listeners. Good morning. Good morning. Well, you guys are doing a great job, and you know, we are all happy about that. I would like to say that, you know, I'm really I'm really happy that this guy is just saying exactly what we black people need to understand. You know, honestly speaking, you know what, I believe in my Martin Luther King. I believe in Malcolm X, and you know, I believe in this guy more than this white Jesus. You know, these are things that we Africans need to understand, that we need to get up and start doing something, and not with this religion. You know, it's not gonna take us nowhere, and we don't even understand how that we are. You know, we don't even know that. And I'm really happy that this guy is just, you know, saying all these things, and I hope people are listening to you guys, because it is time for us to stand up and do something and put this Bible stuff, you know, somewhere else. We need to do something. We need to think. You know, look, we can even use our brain to think. Yes. We can even think for ourselves. I mean.
All right, Nana, I could see the anger in your voice.
And everything a white person does is a bad thing. I'm really leaders, because all these leaders are religious peoples and everything, and they can even use their brain to just rule this country, rule our continent. They are capable of doing nothing. Greedy people. I'm really angry. You know, we need to think for ourselves as black folks, as black people, for ourselves, and stop all these white things. And I'm really happy that this guy is just, you know, blowing things up. We need to wake up. So first of all, I would like to say thank you, and thank you, you know, to your guests that is there, saying things out, bringing things out for us to understand. This is the time. You know, because I don't understand. They are saying we have Jesus somewhere else. Okay, so why was that Jesus when all these white folks, you know, was just, you know, taking all our ancestors to America and, you know, United Kingdom and everything? Where were, you know, I mean, where was this Jesus? Where was this Jesus? Where was he? You know, Forget about this Jesus stuff and you know, let's work hard and, you know, get this continent to a different level. This is all that I want to say. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Nana. Thank you, Nana, for calling us all the way from Germany. Thank you very much. So this is how people hear the message and they get angry, you know. And I think we need more people to get this angry. So you were talking about how it was not working. Okay, I think I have another caller. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Zali calling. I wanted to call in.
Hey.
Oh, Izali. Hey, shout out.
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm doing well, and you?
Oh, cool. All right, what do you have to say?
I just wanted to thank the brother who's on right now and who are doing this, as well as to the next step, which is educating our youth and how let's put a call of action out for all of those who are coming over from the diaspora, who have experience with education and who have the knowledge to set up our proper schooling system. Because honestly, it's really a matter of reprogramming our brains. You know, there's a book that was written, I think it was in like the 1930s, Miseducation of the Negro.
Yes.
Still applies. I read that in 2007 when I was in college, and I literally felt it both. And I know it still applies now worldwide. So what we really have to do is restructure how we teach ourselves. And to do that, we need our own schooling system. To teach the truth, we need to give kids a well-balanced perspective and really teach what is important to us, what are our value systems, what is our culture separate from what somebody else has told us it should be. I definitely would like to, you know, put a call to action out. If you are an educator, an education consultant, if you've had administrative work, if you've done research, we all need to meet each other and really collectively start creating educational systems, even if that's just sitting down and making a curriculum. I believe the president or the Ministry of Education here in Ghana said that they want to restructure curriculum
Exactly.
and have more of an African-centered approach. Okay, well, there's plenty of us here who have that information. We need to collectively put a proposal together, go down to the Ministry of Education and say, you called, well, here's the answer. We're ready. So what do you want to do?
That's amazing. That would be a nice initiative. And Yeshua, I want to ask you something.
Hey sis, how you doing?
Yes, I'm doing well.
What do you think about, because you mentioned Carter G. Woodson's book, The Miseducation of the Negro. I think it would be phenomenal to get some of these books here to Ghana to expose.
I have a digital copy. There was a brother who was on social media who basically just started collecting all of these great texts. And he has all of them digitally. So we can have digital copies. If we can print them, we can start there. Or if we somehow get them fundraise and get a collection of them here, start an African-centered library, or something like that, I'm all for that.
Because we have, Candace and I and Naya, we started an NGO, and it's to empower our youth in identity, in their culture, and in their their purpose. And part of that is that education center and to teach African pride. And we need folk to come and work with us. And yes, let's do this fundraising to bring books here and videos here so we can have a library and a center of empowerment. That's the vision that we have. And we need all of you.
All the ancient
Absolutely.
had one.
Absolutely. A Timbuktu.
Yeah.
All right, Nzali, thank you very much for calling. We will talk after the show.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, bye. Okay, that's Nzali. You were talking about the faith, like according to the Bible, if we are, the logic is working. Okay, I have another caller here. Hello. Hello. Yeah. Good morning. Okay, this is Ayodele Sosu, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so let's hear you.
Yeah, good morning. You know, oh, yeah, I want to commend what you guys are doing at the radio station, and I commend the brother, you know, for the knowledge he's passing on. I must say, you know, religion has done us a lot of harm ever since the first was handed over to us. And, you know, it's something we just stay away, and it's not going to happen in just one day, but it has to be a collective effort for those who have the knowledge, like this brother who's putting it out. And secondly, what is going on in the studio right now, the relationship between the diaspora Africans and the continental Africans, the relationship we are building is what they do not want to see happen. But I'm glad it's happening, because this is one of the forces we can use to break through, because the diaspora Africans have a lot of things we do not have. And, you know, we're connecting with them, you know, and the way we're connecting right now is a force that we can continue to build this relationship and build this collective. I don't know, hopefully there will be a rise in the black man's eye, which they do not want to happen, but definitely will happen. So we'll definitely, you know, we just have to, I will always say Africans must go back to respecting and valuing themselves. When I mean respecting and valuing themselves, please, going back to who we are, respecting our culture, valuing our spirituality, and from the because once we value and respect ourselves, we respect nature, we respect our environment, we respect our water bodies, everything, we respect our spirituality, we can rise from there. That's my contribution for today.
All right, thank you very much, Ayodele Sosu. He is one of our ardent listeners since I started this show. I'm still interested in that part where you said it was not working. What and what were not working?
In the black community in America, wherever black, there's a concentration of blacks. There's a church almost on every corner. Whether it be a big church, a traditional church, a storefront church. Right beside it, for the most part, are liquor stores. Check cashing, not banks. Places where you go cash a check and they cash your paycheck and you get a large, they take a large sum of money out of it. High interest loan places. Chinese food places that you don't know, God knows only what you're really eating, poor food, all these type of things. Around it, surrounded by it, is poverty, crime, and drugs. What I asked the question because the Bible says where the Spirit of the Lord is, there's liberty or freedom, emancipation. I didn't see that in the black community. Because if anywhere where freedom and liberation should have been manifested should be in the hood, where all these churches were. And then here's another one. You had a Methodist church. You had a Baptist church. You had a Holiness church. You had a Pentecostal church. You had American Methodist or AME church. African Methodist Episcopal church. You had a Catholic church. All of them claiming that they are right. The Pentecostal church. All of them are right. Some people believe in baptism and dipping in water. Some people sprinkle. Some people immerse. Some people say in Jesus' name. Some people say Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. All of them claiming to be right. But yet they all believe in the same God and the same Savior. How can all of them be right, saying something different and believing something different? I said, could they all be right? No. Is it possible that all of them could be wrong? Yes, based upon the fruit, which was non-existent. So looking at all these different things, those were questions that were being asked. I said, and then asking these questions, where was Jesus when our people were getting our butts kicked in? Where was he now? Why isn't he answering? And so, thus the reality. But because of fear of this fake hell, and then when I went to college,
that is something that I want you to come into the studio for us to discuss thoroughly. Hell and heaven. Heaven and hell.
It's in your mind.
And how that's the final stage for everyone to liberate themselves. You see the truth, you see it, and you get to. But what about heaven and hell?
It's in your mind. Because there's a passage that says, as a man thinks, so is he. So if my life is, because how I think control my behavior and my actions. So hell is a lowly level of thinking. It's not a literal place. I never met anybody that said they went and burned on fire, and anybody know anybody. Because it's a humanities class when you take in college, and one of the books is called Dante's Inferno. It's a Greek-based book. It's talking about hell, but it's a fictitious book, Dante's Inferno. Heaven is a higher level of consciousness because heaven's supposed to be up here. That's supposed to be our level. That's the African mind. Higher level of thinking, Wakanda, what we saw in the comic book movie of Black Panther. the higher level of thinking. Even the Almighty says, my ways aren't your ways, neither are my thoughts your thoughts. They're higher. If we're created in His image like we believe, our level of thinking and consciousness should be that of a higher level, not a lowly level trying to compete and be equal to this lowly man, this European ideal. That's hell. Because all that we manifest, like I asked the brother, he said, I don't want to go to hell. I said, is poverty hell? Yes. I said, what about sickness and disease? Or the cure for the sickness and disease is in this hospital, but you can't afford to get it. Is that hell? He said, yes. I said, so what are you talking about? So you want to go to, you say a place is worse than that? Use your mind. As the brother that was just on the phone says, use your mind to elevate your life. And that's what we have to get back to, that African way of thinking, because our elders had the solutions. Our ancestors had the solutions right out here growing, utilizing these herbs and these trees, utilizing that collective thought. That's heavenly thinking. We got to get rid of the hellish things, the viruses that's plaguing us, the European ideal and all that comes with it. We have to get rid of it.
All right, we've come to the end of the program, and I know now you're going to be coming to the studio, because even after we've done with the show, people call me, who was that, and all of that. Yes, you're going to be coming here. So your final words and your social media where people can follow you. Any project that you're coming out with, you can let us know. Okay, I'm on Facebook, Yehoshua Williams. You'll see my wife Candace Williams. Our NGO website will be up by the end of the week. It's called the mewithinme.org. And also, we're still receiving donations for our Black Panther campaign. Yes, help. You want to help 1,000 Ghanaian children to watch Black Panther. Yes, it's called, the GoFundMe campaign is Help Ghanaian Kids See Black Panther. It's on GoFundMe. And everything we're doing here is moving forward to empower youth. We're looking for solid adults with integrity and honesty and love of Africa, because everything we do is not about diaspora first, not about Ghana first, it's about Africa first. And that's the tie that's going to bind us. Africa first, not about light skin, dark skin, locks, bald head, weave, perm, whatever. It's Africa first, and all those other things are going to be worked out, because there's so much we want to do and need to do, but we can't do it by ourselves. Thank you very much for coming to the show to educate us about the movie, religion and everything. We are so grateful. Hey, you're quite welcome, brother, and I'm honored to be here again. All right. See you next time. All right. Out of the studios.
Your views, and your views. What would life really mean without an X?